What seemingly started as just lighthearted joking among coworkers quickly devolved into something else entirely in Marion County, Florida.
Like, was he reacting when he was hit like that?
I mean, no, he was just kind of laughing at it, like laughing it off.
Okay. So. Now, at this point, was he still being held down when he was getting hit?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it felt a little bit like relentless on him.
The waterboarding thing, I'm sure is what you guys are trying to get at.
10 members of a fire crew have been fired, and 4 of them are facing criminal charges after a young recruit reported serious hazing allegations.
Because I know you're hesitating, and I know it's difficult, but at this point, I hate this saying, but it is what it is.
We combed through hours of interrogation footage to piece together what may have happened at Fire Station 21 that led to complete upheaval in that department. And we are going to break it down for you right now. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law&Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. All right, before we jump any further into this, I know nobody wants to talk about it, but life insurance, not fun to talk about. It is important. You gotta have a policy to protect your family, to give you peace of mind. Fabric by Gerber Life is term life insurance that you can get done today. It's made for busy parents just like you, online, on your schedule, right from your couch. You can take care of it. You could be covered in like 10 minutes with no health exam that's even required. So if you've got a family, the time to lock in one of Fabric's policies is right now. They are high quality, they're flexible to fit your family's budget. You can join thousands of parents who trust Fabric to protect their family. Apply today in minutes at meetfabric.com/sidebar, MEET fabric.com/sidebar.
What occurred is absolutely unacceptable. It's disappointing. It makes me sick to my very stomach.
The fallout within Marion County Fire Rescue is growing after a report uncovered apparent hazing within that department. We are talking allegations about coworkers allegedly pinning someone to the ground, taking property, pulling pants down in front of others, and even allegations of waterboarding. That's right, a torture technique reportedly happening at a fire station in the Ocala area. And now, 10 people have been fired, with 4 of them arrested and facing serious charges.
But unfortunately, we are here today because of these 4 firefighters who went a little bit too far with hazing. Disappointing, absolutely. As the son of a firefighter myself, it is disappointing. It's no different than myself when a deputy does something wrong and I have to arrest them as well. The 4 firefighters and the charges in which they are facing is kidnapping, robbery, battery, and accessory.
So Marion County officials announced the terminations and arrests at a news conference in November. This was just before Thanksgiving.
So I can give you their names and I can give you their years of service. So the first one would be Kaye, K-A-Y-L-E-E, Bradley, B-R-A-D-L-E-Y. She's a paramedic. She's 25 years old, and she's been with the department for 2 years and 10 months. The second individual is Tate Troutwine, T-R-A-U-T-H-W-E-I-N. He's a firefighter EMT. He's 19 years old, and he's been with the department for 1 year and 3 months. The third individual is Edward Kenny, K-E-N-N-Y. He's an EMT. He's been on the job for 3 years and 5 months, and he's 22 years old. And the fourth individual, his name is Seth Day, D-A-Y, firefighter EMT. He's been on the job 2 years and 9 months, and he's 22 years old.
And in sweeping consequences, some of that fire station's leadership were fired as well. We have dug through hours of interrogation footage, internal reports, incident logs, newly released photos to try to get to the bottom of what exactly happened here. And that's what we're going to do. Now, to be clear, before we start off, we have chosen not to identify the victim to protect his privacy, given these allegations. And I will also tell you, in the interrogation footage that was released by Marion County Sheriff's Office, his name is muted as well. But here's what we do know. We know that he was 19 years old, that he had been with fire rescue for only a few months, floating between different fire stations, going wherever he was needed. But here is what he claims happened on November 16th during a 24-hour shift.
So we start detailing the ladder, and they're like getting like a whole bunch of like dirty grease, like a crazy amount, and Quentin, the driver on the ladder, he comes up to me, asks me to come here, and he just like wipes it all over me. He took it off of his glove, because he had a glove on, and he went to go get it, and then he just like spread it all over my shirt. He's like, "You don't look dirty enough," so he wiped it on me.
And one of the things that investigators told him was that grease was wiped on him as well, and that he was told if he changed into a clean shirt, they would just dirty it up again. There was also allegedly an incident with a pizza. So the driver, Quentin Gaines, had apparently thought the victim had thrown away leftover slices instead of saving them for another shift, allegedly got angry and reportedly took some of the victim's gear and snacks and just threw it into the woods.
And then after that, Tate had like showed my Instagram to like the crew, and they like saw that like I had like a decent amount of followers, and then Tate had like told them how I'd like gone like popular off of like a TikTok, so they were like trying to find the TikTok to like see, and like I had taken it down and everything. It was like super cringe. Tate had grabbed my phone, and he was like trying to lock me out of it, and they were asking for my password.
Okay. So when you say he grabbed your phone, like explain to me like how he got your phone.
So Tate had like lifted up my legs, or Seth had, and then Tate had like gone in my pocket, and like I was trying to fight it, so like and like turn on my side so he couldn't get access. But then he just Seth moved me over so he could just grab it real quick. All his weight down to the ground, and Seth sprints over and grabs my legs, and like he kind of like has them under my knees, and he like lifts me up so I can't really move anywhere. And then after that, Tate takes my belt off my pants, and he starts whipping me in my front, and then after that, Kenny like kind of rolls over to the side a little bit, and Seth grabs and like kind of curls my legs so I'm over on my side more. After that, I tried to fight Kenny and grab my just fight away from his grip so I could pull out, and then he like kind of just like held me tighter and then kind of grabbed my arms, and then every time I would like try to fight, Seth would like kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. He would like put weight on the front of my legs, so he kind of had them like this and would push down so it would like hurt my back. At this point, I thought like they were just playing around. Like I didn't think it was like. But once he took the belt off, and then I was like okay, like we need to chill and stop. And then once they unbuttoned my pants and pulled them down, then I was like trying to actually like fight and get out.
Okay.
Tate had grabbed my phone, and he was like trying to lock me out of it, and they were asking for my password.
Okay. So when you say he grabbed your phone, like explain to me like how he got your phone.
So Tate had like lifted up my legs, or Seth had, and then Tate had like gone in my pocket, and like I was trying to fight it so like and like turn on my side so he couldn't get access. But then he Seth moved me over so he could just grab it real quick. So then they undid my pants, and then after that he kept whipping me, and then Kaye started. I guess she'd like put my phone away for a second and started taking pictures off her phone.
Okay.
And then after that, they told Kaye to look away, but she didn't. She just went like kind of like this. And then he pulled my boxers down and slapped me with the belt.
Okay, so they completely removed your clothing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so they completely removed your clothing, and then who was still hitting you with the belt?
Tate.
Okay, and at that point, Kaye still had your phone?
Yes, sir.
At least as far as you knew?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and it was still Seth and Kenny that were holding you down?
Yes, sir.
Did Tweety, Tyler, did anybody else come out? Nobody said anything? Okay.
Tweety was laughing harder.
So it is at this point that the victim claims the group dragged him across the concrete to another area outside the fire station, and that is when he claims that he was waterboarded. And you're going to hear some names here: Seth, Kenny, Tate. Take a listen.
Are they saying anything else at this point? Are they telling you anything?
At this point, they're just laughing.
Okay. They're not like, I guess they're not like, still asking about the passcode or anything like that.
Well,
like
they had still been asking about the passcode the time he was dragging me.
Okay.
I was like, ow, ow, ow. I was like, this really hurts. And I was like, stop. And he was like, what's the passcode? What's the passcode? And so then that's when they pulled out the towel and the pitcher.
Okay. All right. And what happened after that?
After that, I couldn't breathe for a little bit, and then they took it off after. It wasn't that long, but we ended up getting a call, so I had to go. I threw on a different shirt because it was covered in mud from the water. And then we ran that call, me and Tyler, and when we were on the way back from it, he asked me why I didn't just give him the passcode. He said, like, I didn't have to go through that if I'd given him the passcode.
Now from there, the victim claims that after he returned from the call out, everybody was asleep. And when they woke up the next morning, he said no one talked about it, but that it was Tate and Seth who told him a supervisor wanted to talk.
They pulled me to the side. They told me that Lieutenant Bowers wanted to speak with me. And they kind of just asked me not to like say anything to him because they didn't want to get in trouble.
Okay, so tell me what you mean by that. Tell me more about that.
They were like, Lieutenant Bowers wants to talk to you. He's like, we just want to make sure you're okay from what happened yesterday, and that you're not like hurt or anything. And you don't want to like snitch on us.
By the way, we also got our hands on a few photos of the victim's apparent injuries, so showing where he was allegedly hit with the belt, dragged across the ground. Investigators, they also released a short video clip, by the way, which seemingly shows the victim pinned down.
It was great. It was so nice. I don't want my merch anymore.
Yeah, in that 4-second video, the 19-year-old appears to yell, "I don't want my merch anymore," referring to his official gear that references Station 21. So what happens? Well, soon detectives then question the suspects. Tate, Kenny, Seth, Kaylee, they're getting the stories about what exactly happened here, what went down. So one of the first people that detectives spoke with was Kaylee Bradley, and she apparently provided her phone to investigators, seemingly to extract photos and videos. She was read her rights at the beginning of the interview. The detectives told her she wasn't under arrest, and Kaylee apparently revealed several key details in this case, including what she seemingly called kind of roughhousing that was happening all the time. So in a way, she arguably thought nothing of it when her coworkers allegedly chased this rookie down, pinned him on the ground. Although I will say, it kind of seemed like later on she thought, or she said she was uncomfortable, so it's a little confusing here, a little wish-washy. But she was chatty. She seemed to be chatty with investigators. I will tell you this, the next time she comes in for an interview, her demeanor was seemingly very different.
Just hang tight here and Detective Williams will be in here in just a minute.
And after a few minutes, deputies moved Bradley into the interrogation room with the couch that she was in previously, making room for her coworker, Edward Eddie Kenny III, to wait for his own interview. And these 4 suspects spent what seemed to be hours alone in these interrogation rooms, often seen with their heads in their hands, pacing around the room, waiting for someone to come to talk to them. And all 4 were read their Miranda rights. All 4 initially agreed to speak with the detectives. Now, we heard from the victim himself explaining to the police what he claims happened, but what I want to explore is how the different suspects responded to investigators' questions about those parts of the story. So when asked about what kickstarted this, roughhousing, Kaylee brought up new information about how she came into contact with the victim's phone.
There were almost the entire station earlier in the night was sitting at a table, was making a joke about how he had this TikTok go viral, and it was sort of like a 2016 thirst trap. We tried for a long time. We were show us the TikTok. He ended up saying no, he deleted his TikTok, it's not there anymore, he doesn't have it. We started talking about something else, and then I want to say probably 30 or 45 minutes had gone by. We were still at the table, and was dude, what the is this guy talking about? And I was what? What do you mean? Because he just sometimes randomly just says things, and we're about what? And then he gave me his phone, and he was showing me like these group messages about like another firefighter that was having sex with like a girl at the station or something like that.
That was who showed you that?
He gave me his phone to show me the text messages originally. And then I believe it was Seth who took the phone from my hands, and then that's kind of like where it all started.
So like, and if I interrupt you and like you're losing your train of thought,
No, it's okay.
Just tell me to be quiet and I'll
okay.
go back
and
to
I'm
listen.
also like very panicked, so I'm so sorry if
No,
I'm like.
and if like you need to take a moment or
No, it's
whatever,
okay.
you don't need to.
And we brought in some waters for you too.
Yeah,
Okay, thank
we
you.
don't want you to feel like pressure at all.
No,
Because
I
like we
know.
said, you're not under arrest. We're
No,
not here
I know.
to
I'm not being
treat you like a
pressured.
criminal or
It's
anything.
okay.
So you didn't want Seth to have the phone, and is that you said that's where it kind of like all started? That's kind of what I got from what you were saying.
So like, Seth took the phone, and then started running after him, I believe, and they were running around the station. And then that's when Kenny and Tate got involved. Like they started running around too. I had walked around the building because Seth was running, and then we heard Tate say, "We got him," and then we came around the corner, and Tate and Kenny had him restrained.
Okay.
But like I want to like preface it for me like this is something that happens like every day.
Like they're just messing around.
And so like participated in like roughhousing with Kenny and Tate and Seth before, so I didn't really think that anything was going on.
Yeah.
And here's what Tate Trotwan had to say.
Was anything brought up about Instagram, TikTok, anything like that?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me more about that.
It was, we brought up, he was talking about some girl he was talking to, and then we saw his Instagram, and he had like 45,000 followers. Like, what do you have that many followers for?
Yeah.
We're all just messing around, talking back and forth.
Sure, yeah.
And he's like, I have a famous TikTok that blew up, and when we wanted to see the TikTok, we asked about it.
Okay. Did he share that with you?
Didn't know.
Okay. How did you all react to that?
We had to, whenever I'm sure you guys have been told, whenever we took his phone, and we were like kind of playing keep away, as a sense.
Okay.
And despite what this alleged victim apparently told detectives, Kaylee insisted that the victim's phone didn't get taken away from him as he lay on the ground.
We were under the impression that his phone was taken when he was being held down. Is that not what happened?
That's not what happened.
Okay,
No.
so his phone was already in somebody else's possession?
So yeah, he handed me the phone to show me a conversation about the firefighters having sex at the station or something.
Okay.
And then that's when Seth took the phone from my hands.
And according to Tate, they may have gotten a little rowdy, a little rough, but according to him, everybody was having a good time.
Now, what was doing at this point?
Laughing.
Okay.
Well, that's why, I agree. What we did got out of hand.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Sure.
Got out of hand. But the whole time he was laughing, and me roughhousing all day. Like,
Gotcha.
just back and forth wrestling. We wrestled earlier and got up and laughed about it. And
Yeah, like no issue.
Yeah, all day.
Yeah,
Like that.
Okay. So, tell me more about what you mean. Like you think it got out of hand. Tell me more about that.
Probably mostly how long it went on.
Okay.
And hitting with a belt was probably uncalled for. But, thing I'd like to say and make me known, personally, is, that's the kind of behavior that, like stuff like that's happened to me before.
Okay. Like specifically at that location?
At work?
Yeah.
Like Station 21.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff like in that similar or the same kind of things happened to me before. So when it's happening, kind of I'm like, that's the culture I've been shown.
I gotcha.
Throughout when I
Okay.
started here, throughout the past 7 months I've been at 21.
Okay.
So that kind of stuff has happened to me before.
Yeah, you heard Tate say it happened to me before. We're going to get to that in just a second. But something that all four suspects seemed to agree upon was that the alleged victim's underwear was never removed. So here's Seth.
So what happens after you take the belt off?
I don't remember.
Did his pants get pulled down at all?
Not intentionally, to my knowledge. I do know there's a little bit of underwear showing.
Okay. Did his underwear get pulled down at all?
Not to my knowledge, no.
And here's what Kenny had to say.
Are you sure his underwear doesn't get pulled down at all?
No, his underwear does not.
Okay.
And if you remember, and only because I can't remember it right now. How do his pants come off? Were they pulled off, or was it just because of the belt?
How are they like?
Yeah, like how they fall down, essentially.
Because he said that the pants were slipping down, but I'm not sure.
Was it just like his movements that were causing the pants to fall down,
Yeah.
or was okay? So then he was like squirming a little bit then while this was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Kaylee and Tate, they were questioned about it too.
Now, I know you had mentioned it gotten out of hand, but do you remember his pants coming down at any point? Or, like, I get that he's laughing the whole time and you guys are joking around with him. Did that ever occur, like, where his pants fell? I mean, I get his belt's not on there.
Yeah, his belt wasn't on. I believe when it was Seth was holding his legs, maybe it came down some. We never, like, grabbed his pants and yanked him down, but, like,
Okay.
I believe they probably fell.
Okay.
Some.
Do you remember if his underwear came
No,
down?
never.
Okay. Do you know if they actually did pull his pants all the way down?
I only ever remember them pulling it down to like expose his underwear region. I never saw like skin or anything like that.
Because, obviously we've spoken with other people.
Yes.
We're under the impression that it did get pulled all the way down.
Okay.
But you didn't see that?
I didn't see that, but
Okay.
I was also talking to Horton inside of the bay.
Okay.
This brings us to the most egregious accusation, that this alleged victim was held down, that his face was covered in a towel, and that water was poured onto his head. Waterboarding. The alleged victim claims that water was poured over him 3 times, but the suspects seem to say, if anything, no, they were just little droplets.
I know you mentioned something about some water being brought out. What exactly happened with the water? Or do you know who even brought it out?
I don't know who brought it out. I do remember them not using it because I told them not to. Or there may have been a few drops, like as it went over his head, but nothing. They didn't pour it. Besides that, I'm pretty sure shortly after he caught his call.
Okay. Do you know, and who is they pouring the water? Even if it's
I
just a little bit?
don't remember.
Okay.
In all honesty.
I mean, there's only so many of you at the station. Are you sure you don't remember?
I don't remember.
Do you remember what was used to pour the water over his head?
I believe it was like we have plastic pitchers that we used to make coffee in the morning.
Okay. Does it have like a top?
No.
Okay. So how, and if I'm, kind of leading you in the wrong direction here, just let me know, but how would one, dribble a little bit of water from something that has an open top, if that makes sense? So it's kind of come out in a, steady stream with it.
Sorry.
You're fine.
I believe it was like moved over, and then I believe it was full.
Okay.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay. If you don't know off the top of your head.
This picture, did you actually watch them pour it on him?
No, I did not.
Okay. Would it be fair to say that happened?
I'm not sure after the fact, so I was not watching at this point because I thought that it had went too far.
So what caused it to stop?
I believe that got a call.
So how does this all come to an end?
I think after we pulled the towel off, we're like, all right, it's enough. Like, get up. And then after that, me and talked like the rest of the night. Like, we were just like hanging out wrestling. Cause I've never been to fire school.
Okay.
Like, we were friends. We talked about fire school and all that. So me and him talked wrestling night. We wake up the next day. And me and Seth even were like, maybe you went too far last night. Let's go talk to him. And me and Seth had asked him the next morning, we're like, hey, are you good? Like, for real, you're not hurt, nothing. He's like, no, I'm good.
But here's the thing. Seemingly, according to the suspects that were interviewed, hazing behavior was just part of the culture at Station 21.
From a personal instance of something that's happened, I've been held down by 4 guys in the station. I've had my pants pulled down in the same instance.
Okay.
And hog-tied and messed with.
Gotcha.
But, I mean...
But in this particular instance, you don't remember his pants coming down?
No.
At what point, did Tate and Seth ever seem like, they were almost becoming like malicious with it? Like, where they were appearing like, I guess, hateful?
No, I don't think so. So like I was talking to my boyfriend, and I know like I'm not supposed to talk about this. I just am going insane over this.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like Tate, even Kenny. So like Kenny just wants to fit in, and Kenny has only been here for a month. Kenny sees Tate get waterboarded a week ago, and then I think that he thought that it would be funny to like bring it out, and then Seth actually like put the towel on his face. Like I think that they just thought that they were being funny.
Okay.
Because it's happened to them.
So did you see the thing that happened with Tate about a week ago where he also got waterboarded, or did you just hear about it?
I did.
You did see it?
Everybody saw that at the station.
Was it, like, you know, as it happened to Kane, did they put the towel over his face and pour the water onto his head, or was it just, like, you know, spraying him down? I mean, how did that, what happened with that?
I didn't really see past, like, the towel, like, getting put over his head.
Yeah. No, I mean
with Tate.
With Tate, yes,
okay,
ma'am.
with Tate, yeah, like, the towel got put over his head, and they poured, like, a whole jug of water on him.
Okay.
And I think everybody was there for that, and then I was told not to record it.
Okay. Who told you that?
I think it was Manny. It might have been Manny or Quentin Gaines.
Okay.
I mean,
At this point, we talked to everybody.
Yeah, we talked to everybody, and everyone's already gave us their involvement, and you know, has been upfront with us about what happens.
So the waterboarding thing, I'm sure is what you guys are trying to get at.
Well, so I guess my question is I know you're bringing up the waterboarding, but did somebody like mention this and say like waterboarding or like it's time to do waterboarding or anything like that?
Well, it had been a joke because, like I said, this kind of stuff has been happening to me.
Okay.
So it did happen to me. So it's kind of a joke. It was like a joke. He never actually got waterboarded.
Okay.
What happened? We were sitting there playing around. Seth had him by his knees. We were just kind of sitting there. Kenny walked in and came back out with a pitcher of water and a towel.
Okay.
And it was like, oh, we're going to waterboard him.
Okay.
And all that happened was the towel got put over his face, and that was it.
Okay.
So nobody actually poured the water onto his head?
I don't believe any water.
Okay. Because we had heard different. We had heard water did got poured on him. It didn't sound like it was very much, maybe, but like did Kenny come out with like a full pitcher of water?
Yeah. I mean, it was still full afterwards, so I wasn't really watching that. I wasn't a part of that.
And according to Kaye, she had previously been told to delete any photos or videos of the roughhousing and pranks, and was allegedly told by her supervisors not to talk about the incident with the 19-year-old.
I was pulled in the next shift in the morning, and they said that they heard that there was videos of it and that there needed to not be any videos or photos of it anymore.
And is that relating to all roughhousing or only the incident that happened on Sunday?
They already had like established that they don't want any videos or photos of roughhousing.
And who's they?
Like Quentin and Vic.
Okay.
Okay, so Quentin Gaines and the captain said, make sure you delete everything regarding the incident that occurred on Sunday?
Yes, sir.
Did he specify that it was Sunday, or did he, what did he say? I don't want to put words in his mouth. You were there, you know what I mean? So
I think like he said something along the lines of like the incident.
Okay. And that, when you heard that, that was Sunday?
Sorry, was that the 16th?
Correct.
Yes, the 16th.
Eventually, both Kenny and Kaye asked for lawyers.
Sorry. I'm sorry, I'd rather have a lawyer.
Okay, that's okay. Before we step out or anything like that, is there anything else you want to tell us?
No, I'm just too stressed.
Okay.
Is there anything you need? Water? Okay. All right. Just if you need anything, just knock. Yeah. Do you want a water or coffee or anything?
I don't know if I need a lawyer.
It's entirely up to you, ma'am, you know.
I don't.
know what to do.
So after hours of being at the sheriff's office, it seems to be dawning on the suspects that they are in a lot of trouble right now.
Hey, can I ask some charges one more time?
Robbery, kidnapping, and simple battery. It's a second-degree felony, first-degree felony, and then I think it's second-degree misdemeanor.
So what happens? After their interviews on November 26, all 4 suspects were put into handcuffs. They were taken to jail. They actually bonded out. Kenny bonded out seemingly earlier than the rest. But according to Marion County court records, the defendants posted a percentage of their bond. They were released. Now, Kaye was charged with robbery and principal to robbery for allegedly keeping the victim's phone away from him. Seth, Kenny, Tate, they were all charged with robbery, battery, kidnapping. All 4 are expected in court for arraignment on January 27th. Now, in addition to those 4 being fired and facing charges, 6 other people who worked at Fire Station 21 either had their employment terminated or they quit before it could happen. And that included station leadership. Investigative reports by the Marion County Board of County Commissioners that was released in December gives us an idea of why they were let go. For example, here's what the report on Captain Victor Payette says. Quote, Captain Payette became aware of the incident on or about November 19, 2025. At that time, he possessed information indicating that a serious incident involving a firefighter had occurred and that conduct could be criminal in nature. Despite this awareness, Captain Payette did not immediately initiate formal administrative reporting or notify Human Resources. Captain Payette discussed the matter with Battalion Chief Clint Ballack. During the period following the awareness of the incident, Captain Payette did not take steps to ensure formal escalation or preservation of evidence and engaged in informal handling of the matter at the station level. During this period, Captain Payette directed at least 1 member to delete photographs or video related to the incident, which resulted in permanent loss of evidence. Captain Payette subsequently communicated to Battalion Chief Ballack that the incident could involve criminal conduct. However, when later interviewed by law enforcement, Captain Payette did not provide the same information he had shared with Battalion Chief Ballack. His law enforcement testimony omitted material information regarding the seriousness of the assault, his knowledge of the incident, his knowledge of picture and video, and his actions after becoming aware of it. And yes, Battalion Chief Ballack was also let go. During a December news conference, you had the Marion County Sheriff, a county commissioner, the fire rescue chief. They all expressed their extreme disappointment in this whole situation.
Today I want to address the arrest and termination of 4 first responders from our department. Their actions, now the subject of serious felony charges, represent a disturbing violation of everything that this profession stands for. What occurred was unacceptable, inexcusable, and fundamentally contrary to the core values of our fire department. Let me be absolutely clear. These individuals involved in this incident forfeited their right to wear the uniform the moment they chose an act and manner that endangered, harmed, and betrayed a fellow firefighter. Their behavior does not reflect who we are and what we stand for. To our community, I know this news is upsetting. I know it may cause some to question their trust in the department, but I ask you to remember that we have more than 800 firefighters who come to work every day with one mission: saving lives, protecting property, and protecting this community. They respond at all hours, in all conditions, and in most dangerous situations inimaginable. The misconduct of a few should not overshadow the honor, commitment, and sacrifice of the many.
Marion County has zero tolerance for employees who batter and betray the trust of the people they serve. Zero tolerance for those who put their own impulses above their responsibilities. Zero tolerance for behavior that demeans the good men and women who serve honorably every single day, every single call, every single shift.
In my 30 years as a firefighter, this is the most egregious thing that I've seen, been reported to me. And as fire chief, I was in shock and disgusted at the actions that was reported to me.
So where do we go from here? Well, we're going to continue to monitor this case, see if there's any further fallout. But I got to end on this, okay? Despite everything you've just heard, according to Fire Chief James Banta, the alleged victim in this case has come back to work wants to continue his career as a firefighter, saying that this 19-year-old told him, quote, "I have a job to do, and I need to do that job." That's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you should get your podcasts. You can follow me on X or Instagram. I'm Jesse Weber. I'll speak to you next time.